Are you looking for saves in Football Manager that are going to challenge you to your absolute core? Then look no further than this top 5 hardest challenges in Football Manager video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Coming in at number 5 is Reading in League One. They've been recently relegated from the Championship after having financial turmoil and a transfer embargo placed upon them. Their finances are looking decent at this moment in time, but what you have to remember is the board will not pay the players. That's what's happening in real life. It's a lot going on. The guy is just taking money and money out of the club. The squad that you've got is not great in terms of what you should have for this sort of level. They've got some fairly decent players in Kalen Vickers, in Tyler Bindon, Kelvin Albafira as well. You've got some good young players to push yourself back into the Championship, but Reading fans will know it's not going to be as simple as that. With no investment from the chairman and things looking bleak in real life, can you take Reading back to being a Premier League side? Remember when they were in the Premier League? It's a long time ago. This team are not the best. They're very much in turmoil. I think the first season in Sky Bet League One, you should be looking for trying to finish in the top half. You do also have a 4-point deduction for financial mismanagement as well. So it's not looking good from the outset. You're going to have to sell players. You're going to have to come back from a points deduction. You're going to have to build a team with little and no resources. This challenge is not for the faint-hearted. Fourth on this list is Turkish side Bursaspor, and if you know anything about Bursaspor, you might know about their stadium. It is the stadium that is shaped like a snake. It is one of the best stadiums in world football looks-wise, but the club are in absolute turmoil. They're in the 3rd tier of Turkish football after being a Premier League side not that long ago, and the club are in an absolute financial disaster, mess, whatever you want to call it. They have a 28.5 million pound loan out, and you're going to have to start paying that back, and you're going to be paying back a lot. It's 120k a month, and there isn't big money in Turkish football. Even in the Turkish Premier League, there isn't big money there to be had until you get to the Champions League. This one could be absolutely horrendous to do. The club, well, their squad is fairly good for this level. They've got a lot of good young players, so you will be able to reinvest some of that money. But what you'll notice here is their most valuable player is only £300,000, and even he's only going to be enough if you sell him for a couple of months of those payments. Your finances are going to be ruined. You're going to have to progress quickly in order to try and get to the top of the Turkish league. But are you going to get the investment? No. Are you going to be able to pay players? No. You're going to have to rely on what they're doing here and rely on young players coming through your academy, which is a fairly decent academy in Turkey. If we take a look at their facilities, they've got excellent training facilities, excellent youth facilities. So they're going to have top tier training, top tier youth facilities as well, adequate academy coaching and basic youth recruitment. You're going to have a good chance of getting players through. Your youth recruitment does need investment, but you're not going to have it. It's going to be a tough one. Are you brave enough to take on the Bursaspor challenge? 3rd place on this list goes to an Austrian side that have a lot of very good young players. And you're probably thinking, Heim, what are you thinking about? Austria Vienna, they're in the Conference League. They're a European team. They've got a lot of money in the bank, surely. Well, absolutely, you are wrong. They have a £15 million minus bank balance, and that isn't the worst of it. Their debt and loans are absolutely massive. They've got net debt of nearly £70 million. And for the Austrian league that has been dominated by Red Bull Salzburg, this is going to be one of the toughest challenges you can do in Football Manager 2024. Although the club do have some very good facilities, excellent training, excellent youth, excellent academy and excellent youth recruitment, which means you're going to get those new gens through your academy, which in the long term will help with restoring the club's debt and hopefully bringing you back into the green and out of the red as they say. But your squad should be able to help you with this. This challenge is going to be made a little bit easier by the talents that you have in the squad. And they've got a lot of good young players. And the first one I really want to go for is Huskovic. This guy on my Aris and Greece save, I tried to buy him. He went to a big club at Bayer Leverkusen and is scoring goals every other game. If you haven't had Huskovic, you need to go out and get him because he's absolutely top tier. He's going to be the Benjamin Sesko of FM24. You heard it here first. And then they've got players like Manuel Polster as well, the young Austrian, 3.9 million. It does chip away at that debt, but 70 million pounds if you go through their squad and have a look at the most valuable ones. 3.9 million is your most valuable. Even if you sold every single player in this squad, you couldn't recoup that debt in the first season. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get academy ballers in, rely on free transfers, develop players, have a few seasons where you're just trying to rebuild this club, and then you can push on and become one of the biggest teams in Austria and potentially make the Austrian League the best league in the world and try and win a Champions League with Austria Vienna. And if you can do that, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video. Second place on this list goes to a team just over the border from Austria in Germany. It is FC Schalke. They have had an up and down, turbulent last 10-15 years, and now they're back in the Bundesliga 2. And not only back in the Bundesliga 2, but they are back with hella debt. They have got minus £100 million in the bank. It's unbelievable the level of debt that they've got. How they've got themselves into this level of debt, I don't know. I haven't done the full research. But there is £156 million of net debt to go. That's a hella chunk of money. But one thing that will help you with this, well, hopefully will help you with this, if you don't have to sell your arms, your legs, and all that kind of good stuff there, is their facilities. They've got a great academy. They always bring through some great young ballers. They always have done. They probably most likely always will. The board's expectations are high as well. They are hoping that you finish top of the second Bundesliga and win that and go straight back into the Bundesliga and try and recuperate some money that way. But that's going to be a tough task with this squad. The squad you've got has got a mixture of experience and youth players. They've got players like Timo Baumgartner, who is a centre-back who used to play for PSV. He's on 15 grand a week. How they're playing players 15 grand a week with £107 million debt is unbelievable to me. They're still playing, apparently still paying the players. I mean, at least on the game. I don't know about real life. I hope they are, and I hope the players are getting what they deserve. And they've got some decent other players as well. Leo Grimmel is a decent Austrian centre-back. Came from Rapid Vienna. He's always one of those defenders that you can buy and is a great squad player for most teams, to be perfectly honest. But they do have in their club, they have some very good young ballers. And the best one is Asan. He is absolutely quality. But the problem is you're going to have to sell him straight away. You're going to £8.6 million is a lot of money off of that debt. It's still not going to cover the anywhere near. It's only 10% of that debt gone, which is not a lot. Can you rebuild Schalke and make them the team that had Raul and all of those legends in it as well? They should be a German powerhouse. They're now a German sinking ship. Are you brave enough to take on the £106 million of debt and put Schalke back as being one of Germany's best teams? But coming in first place is Besiktas in Turkey. They are a Turkish giant and they have had some unbelievable players at the club throughout the years. And they are a European team that are always in Europe. But you're probably thinking to me, Haim, what are you talking about? Besiktas have got money in the bank, £16 million. That's fairly decent, right? Well, hold up. Wait a minute. Something isn't right. £211 million worth of net debt with £500,000 owned in transfer debt. You have got £625k a month in payable debts over that £150 million loan. It's unbelievably tough. The Turkish League, there isn't the TV money in there. There isn't the financials in there unless you're qualifying for Champions League, which puts a hell of pressure on you right off the bat. You're going to have to win the league every season. You're going to have to make Champions League group stage every season. And you're going to have to win games in a Champions League to get that £2.7 million or £2.4 million you get for winning the game. It's unbelievable pressure. And especially in Turkey, when you've got teams like Galatasaray and Fenerbahce that are spending big money, Besiktas are being left by the wayside. But to say that, they do have some very good players in their squad and some players you can recoup some decent money on as well. Starting off with them, one of the most expensive players in the squad, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Liverpool and Arsenal legend, is now plying his trade in Turkey on £62,000 a week with £200 million worth of debt. That is unbelievable. To say the least, that is unbelievable. Gedson Fernandez as well. He's a wonder kid that everyone's been speaking about for donkey's years and never quite made it. But could you get him to being back at his best, back at Besiktas? Other players that you'll recognise, Daniel Amati was part of a Leicester team back in the day when they signed him from Copenhagen. He's been a bench player for them and is really just a bench player wherever he goes. And you've got Vincent Abu Bakar even, if you want to pronounce it correctly. He is a Besiktas legend. He's a World Cup legend as well. Scored one of the best goals at the last World Cup. If you haven't seen it for Cameroon, go and watch it. He's a very good player, but to finish it off as well, players like Ante Rebic. So the squad's there. The money isn't there. Don't be expecting big transfer budget because you're not going to get it with Besiktas. You're in a hell of a debt. You're in a hell of a position. You're going to have to pull them out the trenches and bring them to being a Turkish giant. They haven't won a European trophy. Could that be the aim of your save with Besiktas? Could you win a European trophy with them? Could you repair the debt? Let me know if you're brave enough to take on any of these challenges in the comments below, and I will see you on the next video.